I'm Maybe Burke, and you're watching Makeup for Lost Time. This is my series for trans women and other people who feel like they missed a few classes when it came to learning about makeup. And honestly, I'm having a lazy girl summer, so today we're gonna do a no tools makeup tutorial for those days that you just don't want to use brushes or sponges or anything. The only tools that I will use are mascara wands and things that come within the product. But other than that, like I'm doing with my sunscreen right now, we're gonna use our hands. So I'm still gonna start off with an eyeshadow primer. We're still gonna do eyeshadow. The easiest things to do with your hands and fingers are obviously going to be liquids and creams. So we're really gonna tap in this primer to help our shadows have something to hold on to. And you'll notice there'll be a lot of tapping today because that'll help our fingers do the blending. If we drag product, it's just gonna move on us. Tapping it in place is actually gonna help it stay there and help it blend out. And so with something like this, I'm just gonna take some shadow and I'm just going to stamp right on the outer third of my eye there. And again, kind of setting it in where I want it to be and then tapping around the perimeter to help it kind of blend out from there. Tapping it in place and then diffusing out the edges. It's rough, but it's my fingers. Then I'm just gonna come in with a lighter shade on a clean finger and tap that right in from the inner corner and blend it into that darker color. Same thing on the other side. And we're good. And then, oh, I can't curl my lashes, so we're just gonna go directly in with a mascara. Obviously, we're using the spoolie of the mascara because it comes in the product, and I can't imagine applying mascara with my fingertips. Obviously, I could also put on eyeliner in this way because eyeliner is product and tool in one. I just haven't really been into wearing a lot of eyeliner recently, especially when I get really sweaty in this heat wave, so we're just going straight mascara and eyeshadow. All right, I am going to do a little bit of color correcting, and this, I usually don't put products directly onto my face from the tube, but in the spirit of no tools, we are going to put that directly on there, and then we'll tap, tap, tap it in. The reason I don't usually do this is because that's so much more product than I need, but here we are, tapping it in, letting the excess come off on our fingers, using a clean finger to tap around and get off any excess we don't necessarily need. Is a towel a tool? I feel like a towel doesn't count. You need something to wipe your hands off in between steps. And now I'm not going to put the foundation directly onto my face. This isn't a foundation, it's a tinted moisturizer. I am going to put it onto my fingers, and from there, we'll apply it to the face. The reason I don't go directly onto the face is because it's much harder to blend out from something that you've just placed onto your face. It's a lot easier to start with it on a tool, but on your hands, and then use those hands to warm up the product, to spread it out, and always make sure we go down the neck. Using your hands is actually a solid way to make sure you get a good blend, but it also is going to be more sheer than I would get from some brushes that I use. But especially for summer when I don't want a full coverage foundation, it's fine. And then I'll take a concealer again, just on the pointer. I'll transfer it to the other pointer, and then just tap it in where I would. Center of the forehead, middle of the nose, Cupid's bow, center of the chin. That's not bad. And then tappy blendy tappy blend, using a clean finger in the spots that I want less coverage because the finger will pick up some of the product. And then of course, a liquid blush that I often do just apply with my hands anyway. I lay some right in the area that I never know what to call. And then we can just tap that right in, and the more we tap, the more it blends. I always bring that up to the forehead too, so we get a little cohesive. And with a look like this, I'm really gonna just go with blush. We're not going to blush and bronzer and all of that. We're gonna stick with simplicity. I'm gonna tap along the nose, That wasn't bad, honestly. And then luckily lip liner is a tool in the product, all in one. And then we can just throw on some gloss, applicators in the gloss. And here's the problem with only using our hands and not using any tools. Powders are really hard to use. What I am going to do is a setting spray. And then what I can try is kind of taking a blush on 2 fingers and tapping it over where that cream was. And you see we get a little bit of the payoff of the pigment, but it's like really hard to blend something like this out. So it might be going a little patchy. But if you want to use powders, this is unfortunately where I would kind of surrender and pick up a brush or a powder puff. Because like loose powders are definitely not gonna happen. Let's see if I can get a setting powder. Yeah, it just looks so patchy. Is it actually worth doing? Gonna do a lot of tapping to the point that I don't think that powder is actually there anymore. But that's our little lazy girl face. I can of course go in and set my brows because the spoolie comes in the product with a brow gel. And then I am all set to continue my lazy girl summer. Now go sit in some AC and make sure you're drinking water.